All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Chelas con Chavos. My name is John. I'm here once again with Miguel. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Johnny? How you doing today?
Pretty good, broski. Just living the life here on a Friday night here in
I
beautiful
know,
San
right?
Diego.
I know, kicking off the weekend right, man.
That's right. Friday night. We're doing a episode tonight, Friday night. Obviously, we
Yep.
had a quick turnaround, so we couldn't do an episode yesterday or the day on Wednesday because Loyal played in Tulsa, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah, that's what we get
But
when we
speaking of
start.
yeah,
I was saying that's what we get when we start a podcast in the middle of a 4 game week, or you know.
yeah. Oh man, but you know what? I love it when Loyal has like a match on Saturday, and then they have a match on
hmm
Wednesday, and then they have a match again on Saturday. I know it probably sucks for the players and stuff, but I mean, I'm loving it because it's like I was like, cool. Like every couple of days is a Loyal match, and a lot of
Yep.
Loyal content that we get to talk about it and watch, right?
Yeah, correct,
So
man. It's pretty cool too that I enjoy it too when it's away because I get to sit back and relax and watch it on TV. When it's back to back, I mean, that voice, it takes a long time to recover, and sometimes quick turnaround from Saturday to Wednesday or from Wednesday to Saturday. That could be a little tough,
yeah,
especially for supporters.
I know. Hey, so getting into the matches, I wanted to get your input on how it was at the Loyal match versus Sacramento.
hmm
I wasn't able to attend, but I wanted to get pretty much your input on how again Death Brewing was the place to be, right, pre-match, and I
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
wanted how things went there, and then how things were at the stadium.
Yeah. So, this week actually for Deaf Bruin, it was actually pretty cool because they had a band playing. Just they were doing like a bunch of blues, jazz, and they were actually pretty good. A little bit of country here and there, which was kind of different for the type of group that we brought, that type of atmosphere that we brought. But the best part about it was, at some point during their set, we asked them, "Hey, can we do a quick chant?" And then they would stop. Like it was very nice of them, like to stop their sets. You never want to ask anybody to do that, but they're really cool about it. Even their drummers started getting into it because we couldn't bring our drums because of their ongoing show. But the drummer got along. He's like when we started singing our chants, he followed through. We followed along, and there was quite a bit of people there. And everybody was super nice. Everybody really liked what we were bringing. And yeah, you could tell we actually met the owner of Death this time around too. And I mean, you could tell he was just he was very thrilled to have us there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it looks like obviously Def Brewing is going to be the place to be, obviously,
hmm
uh, and it looks like the more and more people get catch wind of Chavos being there pre-match, and the owner having the food trucks there and having bands there and stuff like that. It really sounds like it's going to be a really good atmosphere there pre-match.
Yep, yep. It is. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, especially once we get more people going, it's gonna get pretty packed.
Was it a pretty good turnout with the Chavos and other loyal fans at Deft?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We actually had more people show up this time around. I mean, more people started bringing their families, which was great to see. We always want to make sure everybody's included. And then we actually made some new friends out there too. So it's just really more about just trying to tell people what we're about, and just being loud enough to where they kind of notice and they're kind of interested in what we're doing. So I think we're doing a pretty good job about that right now.
Yeah, one thing is we were talking about pre going live, but was just being recognized as a
hmm
supporters group now by Loyal,
Yep.
and just how the popularity and just the eyes are a lot of eyes across the nation, the world. Really, there's fans of Loyal, all over the world, really.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are paying attention to what the Chavos are doing here, the locals, the Rainbow Loyals, the pretty much the supporters culture here is starting to get attention.
Yeah.
So that's something that's starting to be noticed, right? So I'm not sure if you want to comment a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, we actually without kind of giving anything away, I think we had somebody there this weekend doing recording, doing interviews with us, and I mean, you never know, we might end up getting a piece somewhere online. That'd be pretty cool. And then there's a lot of supporter group Instagram fan pages that are taking notice of what we're doing, and I think one of them actually is like I think the guy who runs this page out of San Jose or something. Yeah, they pretty much asked them like, "Hey, who are your best supporter groups like in the USL?" And we got a group with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, which is I mean I haven't actually had a chance to sit down and watch their game, but I mean they seem to be on it. And then we also got we got grouped together with the Bandidos as well. So I mean yeah, we have that natural rivalry now with Phoenix,
Yeah.
but that supporter culture, the fact that somebody, that there's other people that recognize us as, maybe some of the top 3 groups, it's, it just kinda adds fuel to that fire, you know?
Yeah, that's Ralph's Mob has,
Mhm.
has an image over there in Tampa, and
Yeah,
obviously Banditos do too out here in the West. So
yeah,
so being already named up there as one of the top supporters culture groups in the USL, that's pretty good, man. That's
yeah,
really amazing for one, but it's proud. Everyone that's a loyal supporter should be proud of the all the energy you're giving at the stadium and stuff like that. So
yeah,
kudos to everybody who's there at 109 and the stadium. Bringing family, people that haven't been there before, inviting them like, hey, like come with me to a loyal match. They got good food and the ambiance is great, and people are going to the stadium and having a great time. So that's what's really making it grow.
yeah. No, it's just gonna get and it's only gonna get better, as we get, our chance or we get them down because we do have a lot of new people in the section, and they're learning the chants, as we go, and then we added a couple of new chants as well, ours are in Spanish, so for
Yeah.
the time being, it's just Chavo singing those songs, but later on down the line, you're gonna hear everybody sing 'em, and they're really they're great songs.
Yeah. Did you see that Loyal put a video out? It was like a compilation of it was like reporters just being at the stadium and like Forbes magazine, for example, and the Tribune and other magazines that were there, and they were just reporting on just like the ambiance and the vibe of just
Yeah.
being a loyal match. So that's pretty impressive.
I didn't even know Forbes had a sports section.
Yeah.
I
uh,
honestly thought they probably made that
I
up or
know, right?
something, but I mean, I looked it up and yeah, there was some mention on it in Forbes, and it was actually really well, it wasn't put together. The video was it just looked like a theatrical release for like a Batman movie or something, you know?
Yeah. And there's a lot of work to do still. I know the what's going on in San Diego is growing. The supporters group culture and then just getting the word out of loyal. But these are all good things that we're talking about. However, one thing I did want to mention was obviously the attendance looked a little. I was watching the match on TV against Sacramento, and the attendance looked a little bit less than how it was, against the first match against Los Dos, and I got the numbers for the attendance for week 2. Obviously week 3, Loyal was at Tulsa, but the numbers dropped a little bit, and actually Tulsa is ranked 13th with attendance, the best attendance in the USL for the week, the first 2 weeks, right?
Mhm.
And actually ST Loyal was ranked 14th. And if you looked at FC Tulsa's, if when you watched the match, it almost looked like nobody was there. Like there was like, it was very scarce around the stadium from what I saw. And then I could talk about a lot of things, and that's not to fault anything on FC Tulsa, the whole organization. But I think USL is still growing. Them being playing in a baseball stadium for one, and then the sound quality wasn't really all that great. And I'm not to say the sound quality is the best over in San Diego neither, but at least you can hear, the supporters groups, in San Diego, all of us and the locals and everyone else. You could hear us for the most part when the games are being played. But at the Tulsa match, it was like really quiet. Like it was like the commentators were just really just for one they weren't really that great, and secondly, it was like they're kind of just like whatever, like kind of just monotone. And then when Tulsa scored, I'm not sure if you remember, if you noticed, but like somehow the volume just like
Yeah,
kicked
amplified.
off, like it exploded, and like what the hell, it almost
Yeah.
blew my speakers off my TV because I had my volume up high because I couldn't even hear the commentators. And all of a sudden, when they scored, it was like boom, and like I was like, what?
Dude, the
You know?
same thing happened to me, man. I was just sitting there watching and, had the volume all the way up. Yeah, because, the commentator was a little monotone, but he overall, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing too, man. It's just like the noise got amplified into the and that kinda goes to show that how many people were actually there. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, compared to San Diego Loyal, Tulsa is, just right above them. And it's not again, there's no knock on like Tulsa, no knock on San Diego. It's just you know, the USL has a baseball stadium problem, and
yeah,
that is gonna have to be addressed some point in the future, especially if they want to grow to the levels that they're expecting. You know, um, yeah, I think right now it's just yeah, you're right. Baseball stadiums aren't designed to be super loud. They're designed the field is obviously wider. The fans are a little further away from the field, as opposed to soccer matches, when the fans are kind of like right in your face. So I think that's kind of where we have an advantage into our stadium is the fact that we're right on top of the game. We're on top of the
yeah,
pitch. Even though the Tulsa fans had way more people in attendance that we did in like in week the week two, they just sounded like they weren't there, and it was because I believe that baseball stadium environment. Um, so I definitely want to see them in a more soccer specific or at least more of a field rectangular field specific stadium to see what they sound like because I mean I'm sure they have an amazing fan base and obviously unfortunately we weren't able
yeah.
to see that.
Yeah, and just to get into the numbers
Mhm.
for the second week, that was the match that we're going to get to in a little bit against
Yeah.
Sacramento. ST Loyal had 4,457
Hmm.
fans in attendance, and FC Tulsa on their second match had 4,531 uh, in attendance.
That was
Um,
that was against San Diego because I think we were their second home game because they
okay,
had played they had played Birmingham Legion the week before and they played them at home.
yeah, so there you go. So the numbers are pretty close.
Mhm.
The point, the real main point that I wanted to get into is that uh, what's going on with the stadium situation here in San Diego. You know, Torero Stadium 6,100 capacity, and there, I'm bringing in last year also that there was a few games that were completely sold out, but a lot of them weren't. A lot of them were, I would say, like 90-95% filled up. Last season at Torero Stadium, and then in this year, I'm expecting probably to be more, more sellouts than there was last year. But the issue is that we're hovering around 5,000 between 5,000 and 5,500 people at the stadium.
Yep.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the whole stadium situation here that's going on, and we all know that ST Wave is going to be playing at Snapdragon for two matches at the end of their season, and they had a good turnout with fans going to the We Are or Angel City um, match over in Orange County against SD Wave, and I think the attendance to that was around 9,000 or so.
Yep.
Um, I believe it was around. It was a pretty good turnout.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, the point being is that what's going to happen if, in my opinion, it's going to be inevitable. In my opinion, that we're going to see ST Loyal playing a Snapdragon in the next year or two. So how is it
Yeah.
going to look like when there's 5,000 loyal fans in a 36,000 capacity stadium?
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to predict that kind of stuff, because yeah, I think the way the wave are gonna kind of go is that they're gonna get that initial curiosity from San Diego natives and citizens about going to check out Snapdragon. So that might actually boost their attendance just a tad because it is going to be a new stadium, and that's going to attract fans right away. Just the fact that the stadium is going to be open and people want to go check it out and see what it's about. Um, for the loyal, I mean, it can go one or two ways, right? I mean, it can increase our attendance because maybe it's, you know, Torero Stadium is not very easy to get into, and we all could attest to that, right? Especially
Yeah,
when school's in session. I mean, the parking's hard. Getting in and out of the parking lot is very difficult. And I mean, we all know Mission Valley, right? From the days the Padres played, and then the team that shall never be mentioned again. Um,
yeah,
I mean, we all visited there plenty of times, and we know how easy it is to get in and out of that area. So, I mean, we might get more people. We might be able to get more attendance because of the fact that we'll be in a bigger location. We'll be in facility wise, it will be better than Torero. Just facility wise, you have more bathrooms, more concessions. Um, but again, that was something that the front office of Loyal was very worried about, and they mentioned that several times. To go from a 6,000 seat stadium to a 30,000, 32, I forget,
36.
36.
Yeah.
That's a huge jump. I mean,
Hell
you're
yeah.
asking, yeah, you're asking people to bring in 30,000 extra people.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, I'm a big supporter of the Midway plan. I mean, just a nice little small, 20,000 seat stadium. That's what we need right now in order to grow the game. Then later on, maybe we could think about moving to Snapdragon. But I think the opportunity is going to be there. I mean, I'm thinking the Loyal might end up going for a season or two, depending on what happens
Yeah.
the Midway area. But it'll that season that they do go, it will be a nice little test to see what kind of attraction we can actually get from new fans in San Diego.
Yeah, just because I see that happening, I see SD Loyal playing there for a couple of years, how you just mentioned, because even if the Midway project does go ahead, it won't get built till probably like 2026 or 2025. The stadium over there, so they're gonna need somewhere to play. Torero's gonna, we're probably gonna outgrow Torero at some point in the next year or two. Where the organization is gonna want to see what else is out there, to try to see how things go at Snapdragon. The parking might be a little easier going over there because the trolley, the people can take the trolley. There might be, minimal parking probably, not probably not compared to Torero, but there's going to be different avenues to get in and out of that stadium. There might be more pre and post game functions, like restaurants and bars around the area. But I really do see Loyal playing there. Yeah, obviously it hasn't been confirmed from the club, but they can confirm or deny it. When Warren Smith was still with the organization,
Yeah,
he was making comments about stuff like that. There's going to be options there, and
yeah,
well, and again, the reason I'm bringing this up is because uh, I really don't want to see Loyal going there, but it's almost like I said, it's going to be inevitable. I kind
mhm,
of just rather them just say it than kind of just keep it, like hidden, and then all of a sudden, all right, we're gonna go there. Because I do think the way ST Wave did it is wrong. Like they're gonna put the last two games of their season over there. Like, you have season ticket holders, you have people that are gonna get comfortable at Torero, and all of a sudden you're gonna uproot them and then go over to Snapdragon in the last two games of the season, where it's gonna be completely different. You're gonna kind of like offset, the fan base that you already have. That's going to be, oh, now I got to go drive over there. How do I get there?
yeah.
What's going to happen in the seating? How are we going to be arranged? The supporters groups for Wave are probably going to be having to have a hell of a time in trying to organize how they're going to go from one place to the other and how to set that up, right?
Yeah, and then you have to set that expectation too. Like, I mean, what if there's a high expectation for Wave to do very well in this league. What if, I mean, they're an expansion team? What if they don't do great? What if their record doesn't reflect on their roster? Then you're asking, people to show up to see a team with a losing record. I mean, not saying that they're going to lose. I mean, I wish anything but the
Yeah,
best for them, and I hope they really kick ass this season. But I mean, there's always that big possibility because expansion teams traditionally never do that great. Um, so I mean, you're right. It's going to be a big gamble. It's going to be a huge gamble. But I mean, what do you think? Are you going to go check out the stadium? Like, if they do open up?
yeah, I want to check it out just because I think it's inevitable that ST Loyal is going to play there. So I kind of want to go see and kind of prepare ourselves of what's potentially
Yeah,
can happen. Because again, I'm not following the Midway project to the T, but I'm reading about it enough to know that there's going to be a lot of red tape with that. Because it has to go to the ballot, and then there's still some things that have to be going on through court before
yeah,
that even gets done, and then there's going to have to be all these surveys and all this blah blah blah. And
yeah,
then if that even does get passed and built, I don't, they're not. It's not going to get built till 2025,
yeah,
2026, something to that effect. So, and I don't see Loyal being at Torero for that long.
yeah. I don't
Um,
think. I think for the midway stuff. I don't. I think that's one of those projects where we don't need a ballot because that's a San Diego initiative coming from certain funds. So it's not actually using taxpayer money. So I don't know exactly what the legality is of that. Um, but the cool part about it is that they just vote. They just vote on which project's the
yeah,
best. But
exactly.
we don't vote as people. I mean,
Right.
the city does, and that could
Exactly.
actually work out for our advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
There's just different, different good and bad things coming out from the Midway Project camp. But enough to where like I'm already kind of bored of it where I don't, I can't read too much into it because it's like you might hear some good news
yeah.
one day and then the next day it's like some lawsuit comes in or someone says no, we have to do this survey or research. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not even like gonna be like following it no more because I hope it gets passed, but I just see Loyal playing that Snapdragon at some point in the next couple years.
I think
So
maybe 2 seasons tops.
yeah,
That's what I feel, but 2 I'm thinking at a minimum 2 seasons.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along, getting to the
Yeah.
Sacramento match. So it's like,
Mhm.
tell all the Chavos and Chavettes out there, that weren't able to go. How was it? How was the ambiance and
Yeah.
the game
The
go?
Sacramento match yeah, the Sacramento match was actually, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a different, I don't know, the tension that was there week 1 wasn't there this time around. And you know what? I will say this, probably the reason why our attendance was so low was because I think only, like, 4 or 5 Sacramento fans showed up. So, that entire section right there, I mean, it's like
Yeah,
that's what, like, maybe 500 people, maybe?
yeah.
Or maybe, like, I don't know how many I don't know how many people one of those sections can hold. I think it's like, what, like 1,000?
Their actual away section, uh,
Yeah,
it's a little like it's a smaller section, but yeah, there's like the bigger overall section. I think you're right. It could probably
yeah,
hold maybe like 500, but I think they kind of
yeah,
stick them in the section where it's like like 100 maybe
yeah,
that can
but
probably fit there.
yeah, but and so even though that section was completely empty, so I'm pretty sure that kinda has something to do with the attendance numbers. Kudos to those, 7 people that showed down, that came down. Um, you know, in Sacramento actually has one of the better attendance in the USL. I think, yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually number 1. So
Yeah, they're good. They're
they're
actually good.
yeah, I mean, their fans show up, and they show up in Sacramento, and they show up loud. I don't know if they're a very good traveling team, but it's early in the season. The kids are probably still in school. There's no spring break, so I mean, I don't know how many people would decide to come down to to San Diego. Just like us, we don't have that many people going to Phoenix. If this was, if the Phoenix game was probably 2 or 3 weeks from now, we'd probably have a bigger caravan going out there. But it's like it's kind of early
Yeah,
in the season. Kids are still in school, so
right.
I'm sure there's gonna be like a smaller number of people that would normally go.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But any new changes that happened at Terrero that didn't occur? The match against Los Dos, for example, parking wise, or the porta potty situation. A lot of people were complaining
Mm,
about.
Everything was the same,
Everything
man.
was the same, huh?
Everything was the same. Um, it was just, I think everybody was just a little bit more prepared now. We had a lot more Chavos park up in the east lot.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more people. We just kind of walked over.
Hey man,
People were,
don't tell nobody. Don't tell
oh, we,
nobody.
oh,
It's like
yeah.
I mean,
So
we're all the
we're just,
travels are parking on in the south lot,
it's
over
just
by
only for the school session. Yeah, it's
all
only
the
one,
Tio
one
Leos,
school.
man. Tio Leo, everyone parked at Tio Leo.
Oh man, but it was no, it was cool, man. It was yeah, that I like that area where we're at. It's just, it's a pain in the butt, getting up and down those stairs, especially when you've been jumping and
Yeah.
dancing. Um,
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to watch the first half that great because I actually uh I got asked to capo the first half. So yeah, I lost my voice like, halfway through the first half, and that was my
mm.
first time ever like running a capo. So it's like
Oh, good.
I was very, very, very nervous. I didn't want to mess up the words. I wanted to make sure that people were there. And I mean, I did learn a few new things. Um, how to silence the drums. I didn't know how to do that, but now I do. Like, for if we want to do just a voice only chant. So that was pretty cool. But as far as the you know, attendance wise, I felt like it was a lot of fun. I mean, people were there, people were having fun. I mean, we
Yeah.
went out. There's a couple of us that went out to with some of the locals. At the end of the game, have some, had a few drinks and stuff like that. But it was just the atmosphere itself was just it was just a lot more fun. I feel
Yeah.
than because week 1 obviously we had that was a great time in itself. But there was a lot of tension in the air because of the
Yeah,
signings, because of all the messages that we were trying to bring to the
right.
stadium at one time. And this time it was just like, okay, look, we said what we had to say last game. Now it's just it's it's
Yeah,
business as usual. So that
yeah.
was the only difference I noticed.
Yeah, we got a win underneath our belt. We're not
Yep.
nervous now that, oh, when are we gonna get a win? We already got a win against Los Dos.
Yeah.
The tensions, away from the first match. The tifo, is everything gonna be
Mhm.
right? Is everyone gonna be okay and doing the proper thing? And
Yep.
this match, everyone just like, all right, now, let's just have a good time,
You
right?
guys have a good time. And the goals from the goals look spectacular. I mean, Charlie Adams' shot, man, that was wow, that was a great shot. I mean, I haven't seen one of those goals in like live in a long time.
Yeah,
The way he ripped it.
yeah, speaking of players, I think Charlie Adams is just, I don't know what happened off season, but he really stepped up his game. Like, he either
Yeah.
got some rest or got more fit, but also Guido too.
Mhm.
Man, he looks like he got healthy and rested off
Yep.
season, because last year, he had a couple injuries, and he was like, subbed on a lot of times, but now he's looking fresh. He's looking really, really top notch right now,
Yeah.
and a lot of the
Yep.
players are too. So, when I was watching the match, I think the team looks solid still. The team looks just straight up to me, like, when I look at them, when I've been watching them play, because I watched the rematch. I was at the Los Dos match, right? But when I was watching the rematch, also against Los Dos and against the Republic, but the Loyal just looked like a solid team. It looked like
He did.
Landon really ingrained in the team about, like, not, just stay focused and solid throughout the match, and try not to
Yeah.
exert yourself, all your energy, and try to score a goal in the first 30-40 minutes, and then you're going to be exhausted in the last 5-10 minutes and let goals in, right? What
Yeah, they're
happened to us
controlling
a
they're
lot of
controlling
times.
the ball very well in the middle. I mean, it's just that's just the way it is. Um, Obviously, I think they gotta capitalize a little bit more on opportunities that come up, up front. Um, and I would like to see a little bit more of attack, coming directly, from the front instead of, kind of coming from the sides. But maybe that's a game plan. Maybe they just haven't, locked it down to the point where they kind of want to be the season. But it was a great game, great atmosphere, great food. And we were definitely loud. I mean, we definitely had a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of people joining us this time around as well.
yeah, I heard you guys on
Yeah,
TV.
yeah,
uh, not like the Tulsa match, and again, not knocking on Tulsa at all. Like, I think they can definitely grow, and they do have a SG, which is what it
yeah.
looks like to me, which is pretty popular over in those areas and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, and I don't think any of that stuff was their fault. I mean, it was maybe just like production, just couldn't get the audio right.
yeah, and it was a good game. It was a good
Oh
game.
yeah,
Uh, there was one person who we talked about last episode that, I wanted to mention, on how they played.
yeah,
Played. Obviously, was Carlton.
yep.
And what'd you think about him starting? That match.
He's got my initial thoughts when I started seeing him play. He's got a great eye, like he's got a great touch. He's got a good control. Um, and he definitely finds the right player at the right time. I don't know if he was just kind of like maybe just a little shy because it was his first game. Um, but it was definitely you could see why they were so interested in him and why they took a chance. He was definitely there creating opportunities for the front. Um, I noticed
Yeah,
that Guido kind of dropped back a little bit more last game. So I don't know if that was because that gave Carlton the opportunity to kind of move forward. Um,
yeah,
in my opinion, it was probably a very smart move for Landon Donovan to start him away,
yeah,
just because it,
yep,
it gives us the opportunity to see him as a player as
yeah,
opposed to you know when we're out there as fans just trying to get under his skin for we don't know why, just but
yeah,
for obvious reasons why that what we talked about last week. But it's definitely an advantage seeing them on TV as opposed to in person. Um, so now it's just really one of those situations where it's like, okay, is he going to start next week, in San Diego, or at least be on the bench? I think it's going to happen. Hopefully, maybe he does something good against Phoenix, and then like not all's forgiven, but obviously like this could be one of those things where okay, we'll just put it behind us for now. Um, but that's going to be very interesting if he starts in Phoenix. Seeing how much, how much, like how much crap they were talking online. You know what I mean, about us
Yeah.
doing the signing. So who knows? I mean, maybe they got something up their sleeve out there, and I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm interested to see, how he handles himself in front of a very very good supporter of a very good away supporter section.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Landon was smart to have him play in Tulsa.
Hmm.
I think it was the right move not to have him play the first two matches here in San Diego. And to be fair, I think he played fairly decent. A lot of people were not agreeing with that on social media. They didn't like the his performance, but I actually think he was pretty solid. Like he wasn't losing the ball. He was getting the ball and making moves and passing the ball around. Headers and stuff like that. He was attacking, and I actually think he was pretty decent. So I was like, okay, okay, he's doing all right. Um, and I do see him playing at Phoenix, and hopefully, if he ends up scoring goals and doing well, I'm pretty sure when they come back to San Diego against El Paso, and if he does play, I think he'll be welcomed a little bit more, than more in open arms, and than the past few weeks of what's been going on social media and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's just gonna be one of those things where just time will tell. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what the future holds for him here. Um, but like we said, we put out a statement as a group. No la cagues, just no
Yeah,
la cagues. Way, that's it.
yeah. And speaking of Phoenix, they're not really playing too well at the moment, so this is really a prime opportunity. Well, hey, we lost right now too, right? I mean, it was a well disputed, game. You can say whatever you want about the goal, but I think the goal, I don't know if you want to call it lucky. It was a lucky goal, but it was a good goal. You got to admit, it's and that's just the way soccer is, right?
It was
You
a
know,
standard. It was a standard away goal for San Diego Loyal. I
yeah,
mean, just they were dominating the entire game. I mean, the possession was insane. I think like the first half, like we had like 74% possession. Um,
yeah,
and it was just we should have won that game. There was just no
yeah,
reason for us not to win that game,
yeah,
and
or at least a tie.
at least
So
a tie. I mean, even a tie would have been to me disappointing
yeah,
given the way we played, but it would have. I was not expecting a loss, and
yeah,
that's kind of one of
definitely,
those things again where it's just a very disappointing goal towards the end of the game, and
yeah,
coping with loss again. It's like it was kind of one of those like, here we go again. Like, are we
yeah.
going to be just a home team, or are we gonna
Yeah,
be an all around team? And that's what's going to distinguish us. I mean, because we're going to play some really good teams in their home turf, and we cannot just win half the season. We got to be able to at least take
yeah,
at least half of those road wins.
yeah. And again, how I just mentioned that Phoenix is not playing too well. However, they did not have a match during the week, so they're going to be well rested, and they're going to come out to play and want to win the match. Obviously, from all the things that happened last year with them, and their fan base too. They're going to come out pumped, and it's going to be a great game. I'm hoping for at least a tie coming out of Phoenix. But I think it's going to be a really good match. I really just don't want to leave there with a loss, because Phoenix is going to come out, and trying to win because they haven't really been playing well.
Yeah, I need something to talk about on social media.
Yeah. There's going to be, most depth, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, probably the day of, or actually today,
Yeah,
probably. If you go on the Phoenix supporters, social medias, I'm pretty sure there's already stuff flowing around it. But tomorrow is going to be a lot of stuff, and I bet you post game, either win or lose, there's going to be some funky stuff going on. So it gets pretty hot between the two groups.
yeah.
And that
Um,
there's a big I hear there's a big following of loyal supporters that are going to be going. So I wish them all
mhm.
good luck.
Yep.
I wish
Have
them
fun.
safe travels and be safe out there, and
Yep.
help, just protect each other, be safe, and everyone just have a good time. That's what it's really about, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. That's
So
all it is. Just go out there, have fun, enjoy yourself, and you know, just remember why you're there. You're there to support your team.
yeah. So speaking of a good time, since Loyal played at Tulsa. It was obviously an away match, and Chavos had the away watch party over at Nova Brazil.
Yep.
It's which is a
True
place
watch.
that, yeah, it's an awesome place to go. It has huge TVs. Food is
Mhm.
delicious. It's a little far if you're not from South Bay,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it's definitely worth going. It's a nice place. The food is delicious. Again, very spacious. You can take your family. Parking's plentiful.
Yep.
But that's beginning to be a home for us also,
Yeah.
for Chavos, just because the ownership there. It's a soccer place.
Yeah.
They had the Mexico USA match, which we will talk about shortly. The following day, yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's
Um
it's a really cool place.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a definitely a pretty cool place, and like I said last podcast, we're gonna try to mix it up, places around the county so everybody can go. Um, we're in talks right now with a lot of like a lot of breweries that love soccer, that love the culture, and they want us there. Obviously for us, one of the big things is we need to be able to make noise because what
Yeah,
happened, like in Old Town a couple years ago, um, that was
yeah.
that was kind of like a okay, we're never coming back here again. Um,
Were you there
but
that day?
I was, and
So what
they
happened? 'Cause I didn't really get the full details of what happened. Let it all
um,
out, man. The cops ain't
dude,
listen.
what happened was it got very loud towards the end of the game, and to the point where we just would not stop singing, and everybody got in, and I mean the locals, the chavos, everybody was just singing loud, 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 and the neighbors ended up calling the cops. And the cops came and they told us we needed to keep it down. And the bouncers started to tell us to keep it down. And they came by maybe about 2 or 3 more times. And given it wasn't the facility's fault, it wasn't the bar's fault.
Yeah,
It was just it was a location and it was an area where people really like their privacy. And
yeah,
Old Town's not very known. It's not known as a party, like
no,
area. So people
no.
really do like their privacy. And yeah, after that, it was just we made a decision as a group that from now on, wherever we go do a watch party, we got to go somewhere where they're gonna let us be us, and they're gonna let us bring a drum, and maybe just at least one drum, but something where we can at least be loud. And like Novo's been pretty nice about that because, like you said, they are Brazilian. They're very like soccer culture supportive.
Yo, they
Um,
love it. They
they
love it.
love it. Yeah, they
Yeah,
love it. I mean, and they host the Barca supporters
yeah,
there too. They host a lot of Mexico games, and then some of the other areas that we're talking about as well too. Some of the other breweries that that could come into work down the line too. I mean, they love soccer there too. So it's like it kind of goes to show what we've built in the last year, and people are taking notice. And it's like we have to go out there. We have to make the effort. We have to go out there and just be loud and really make it worth their while that they reached out. So I think it's gonna be a great building year for us for sure.
yeah. Because I mean, if y'all don't know who's listening, when Chavos show up, it's a party. We're gonna be loud. We're gonna be proud.
Yep.
We're gonna be yelling. We're gonna be laughing. We're gonna be having a great time. And
Yeah.
if people telling you to, you can't do that or keep it down, it's like, well, this ain't no high school party. The neighbors coming out and being like, keep it down, keep
Yeah.
it down.
I
That's
mean,
pretty funny that you're at a bar where you got the bouncers or
yeah. They tell us to keep it
the
down.
security, the workers telling you to keep it down.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
The best
But
thing
yeah,
to do, yeah, the best thing anybody can do if you see us out there, just join in, have fun, sing, and you never know, you might like it, you may want to join. I mean, what's
yeah,
the worst that could happen?
yeah. But you know what? I love home and away though. I would definitely be back there at some point. I like going there. I love going to Old Town. Definitely, I do agree with you. It's not necessarily a place where the neighbors around there are gonna like a bunch of rowdy people showing up. They probably can tolerate it a little bit. Maybe Cinco de Mayo they can probably do. Well, they're probably gonna be in the bars themselves having a good time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I think they're probably not they're not used to the energy that the loyal supporters groups are bringing to the table, and that's why again how we mentioned earlier that we're getting noticed. The loyal
Yep.
supporters groups are getting noticed across the country, and again how I think I believe I mentioned in the last episode. is that Landon even mentioned that it's starting to feel almost like a Europe, like a Europe type of noise and ambiance, just the ambiance, just like the energy that people are bringing, and how we just mentioned right now earlier in the episode about different reporters or different magazines going out and expressing how the energy is high and the feel is great and stuff like that. So and imagine that in a place where they're not used to it, like in a place like Old Town, where there's a lot of probably retirees living in the hills, and they're hearing all these drums and people chanting, and they're probably thinking some kind of invading parties coming through, Old Town.
Like, who are
So
these guys?
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Man.
gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. Like I said, I mean, we have some things in the works right now, and a lot of potential opportunities. We're gonna just follow through with them, and yeah. I mean, the one promise we're gonna make to everybody that joins our SG is that we're gonna find places where we can be loud, and whatever it is you're expecting from us, we're gonna make sure that you get that.
Hell yeah, that's right. Hey, so this last segment, I want to talk to you a little bit about, or let's talk about the USA Mexico match.
Yeah, a little World
Um,
Cup soccer. Let's go.
yeah, the big question. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. All
Okay,
right, I'm gonna
got it,
put you on the travel hot seat right now. You can put me on the hot seat too. But
got it.
who are you going for and why?
I go for Mexico. I root for Mexico. Not I have nothing against the United States soccer. Actually, they're very next to Mexico. I do root for the USA. Um, the only reason why is because I grew up watching Mexico soccer. I mean, since I can remember, I mean, I was watching games with my dad. Um, and I distinctly remember there was one time in 1990 when the USA was playing in the World Cup in Italy. Um, and I think Mexico got they got disqualified for some reason. I think it was because like some under 23 scandal. Whatever. But Mexico wasn't playing in that World Cup, but the US was, and they would show the US games in Mexican television, but when you try to find it somewhere on American TV, nowhere to be found. I think they showed one game on like one or two games on ABC Wide World of Sports, which is
Yeah,
kind of like it used to be. For any
yeah,
if you guys aren't old, I mean, if you guys aren't old enough to remember that show, it's essentially like ESPN 8 the Ocho. It's just a bunch of obscure sports that Americans had no interest in,
yeah.
and they would just show it every once in a while. And again, it wasn't the American soccer team's fault. That's just the culture that was here in the United States. Um, but I love Mexico, man. I just love the Mexican national team. I love the passion it brings. I love fans. I love the singing. Just they show up every World Cup, and the U.S. is getting like that now, and I'm very happy because that's very deserving of a country that's seen their team grow, and get to the heights that they're getting right now. I mean, they're a very good team. Um, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to Mexico USA, I'm 100% Mexico.
Hey, that's great. I'm a little on the
And what
contrary
what
with
about you? Are
you.
you USA fan? Oh, wait, I know you're part Colombian, right?
Yeah, my family's Colombian, so
Yeah.
I'm not a Mexican selección mexicana fan,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, no, but in the World Cup, I go a lot for the Latin teams, the Latin country
Mhm.
teams. But no, the big reason why I go for USA is just because I want the culture to grow here. And for that to grow, there needs to be people like me and you that are doing this what we're doing right now
Yeah.
to help it grow. I think having the World Cup here is gonna be insane, with just like
Mhm.
the people are gonna come out. I was too young when the last World Cup was here. I was probably like 12 years old, or 11 or
That's the one
something
that
like that.
started it all here. That's the one that
Yeah,
started it
that
all here in the
started it
US.
all. And
Yep.
imagine what this is going to start. This could be the start of promotion relegation,
Mhm.
with you either in between USL, or if not with the MLS and USL. I do feel like there's going to be promotion relegation by the time 2026 comes. I have a feeling. But I think,
If they do create that Liga MX and MLS Superliga, there might be pro rel for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I go for USA. Well, for obviously for one big reason, because I was born here.
Yep.
I'm American, so I'm gonna go for my the place where I was born. But I really do want the sport to grow here, and I think it's
Mhm.
really growing. I just think it just needs something like this, like the World Cup here, to really just take it over the tip of the mountain, and then just just and have it just blow up. Just have like
Yep.
soccer here just blow up in this country. Imagine, again, here in the U.S. when you have, I know I was going to bring up Italy, I was going to say because they didn't make it to the World Cup, but
Mm,
imagine Italy here,
mm.
Brazil.
It's two
Uh,
World Cups they haven't been in. Two.
yeah, Ronaldo's going to be too old, but Messi's going to be
Ah,
too old too,
I can't
but
even imagine. I can't even imagine not going to one. I mean, not going to two World Cups in a row.
yeah, and
That'd
then
be
but
sad.
imagine let's just say Italy comes here, Brazil, Argentina,
Yeah,
England, France, there's going to be so many famous teams that we have to go to Europe to go watch.
yeah,
We have to go to South America to go watch. Mexico plays here a lot, but I think it's going to be so huge, for the country and the sport, and that's
yeah.
what I want my kids to see. And you know I kind of missed that. I kind of really fell in love with USA Soccer when Landon Donovan was playing with the team.
Yep.
He kind of got me, having him really got me into USA Soccer. I wasn't really interested in it too much before him, but with him, just like his energy and the good things that he did, and the players that he played with, like Dempsey and stuff like that. Really, what they
Speaking
really
of
did
Landon, I
for,
mean, you know, shout out to the little
yeah,
San Diego Toffees over here of Everton.
yeah, that's right.
I think
So
actually that's where I met you the first time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're following EPL, and then we ended up seeing each other, and I'm a toffee myself.
yeah,
So yeah, but imagine, again, imagine England here in Germany and all those things. So I just really can't wait for that.
mhm,
Um, but anyway, so speaking about of the Mexico USA match, just to kind of finish it off here, how we mentioned last week about the horrible events that happened in Querétaro against
yeah.
Club Querétaro and Atlas. Is that I when I was watching the match against USA Mexico, for one thing, to me, a lot of people thought it was boring, but I thought USA played really well, and they had really good, interesting players like Reina. They're going to be, really good, with more experience and stuff like that. But I think USA Mexico games are getting really, really to the point. Because before it was always in Mexico, that's like, to me, it was kind of boring watching Mexico USA because Mexico would always
Yeah.
win. But
I
now
have
it's
my own
getting,
I have my own theories on that because it's like yeah, Mexico was always dominant, but at the same time when they were dominant, they were playing with purely players based in Mexico. So they
yeah,
had that Azteca, like they
yeah,
had that Azteca conditioning. A lot of these guys, I mean,
yeah,
they go to
yeah,
Mexico once a year, like maybe
yeah,
twice.
yeah. They're in Europe, living cush on some yachts,
Yeah,
traveling around, stuff like that. But I think USA played really well, and the rivalry between the two countries it's really getting up there right now, and that's good to see.
yeah.
But again, my point is that there wasn't really too many. There wasn't well. There was a lot of people there. Obviously, it's like what is 100,000 person stadium?
I think it went down. It went down to like about because they added all those extra changes for the the under
Like
17
suites and
World
stuff.
Cup. Yeah, they added all
Yeah,
those suites for the NFL too, because they had requirements for some suites.
yeah.
So all those
So
changes were made.
I did notice that there was a lot of vacant seats, and I started hearing around social media that they were requiring to enter the stadium facial recognition. They were getting your information, and they were asking for your obviously your IDs and getting your ID information. Obviously, of all the horrible things that happened in Querétaro and where I still I've tried to look up more information on it. There's still cloudy stuff reporting of what's going on, what happened down there. But obviously, there's still people missing. I'm not sure if they've actually confirmed deaths as of yet. But I think Mexico at the federation wanted to show that they're doing something. And I heard that there was like people were showing up early and they couldn't get in until like sometime, almost to like halftime because of all the information that they're requiring from the people attending the match.
Yeah,
Um,
and
so I don't know.
I kind of wish all that stuff was I feel like the answer was definitely more reactive than proactive. I mean, but it's still great to see. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be one of those situations. It's gonna be like that for for a long time. Unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen from now on. And I'm very happy the way the crowds were at the game. Even though it wasn't a
Yeah,
lot, you're gonna have to add that. I mean, maybe later on, who knows? They might have to stop selling beer at the stadium, because they
yeah.
don't want that way people don't get drunk. and start
Yeah,
start fighting.
yeah, I did hear stories in social media and Twitter that there was American fans there that a lot of the Mexican fans were treating really well. You know, they escorted them out. They were taking them to where to get the taxis or where to go get food. They were treating them really well, and they wanted to make sure they got back to wherever they were safe. And that's really what how it should be, and that's really the true Mexican people. You know, that's how they are, not the trash that we all saw of those freaking animals over in Querétaro.
Yeah,
But that's true Mexico right there. And I'm happy that that happened. I'm happy I didn't hear of any fights or if anything in that nature. That a lot of the Mexican fans were really taking care of the American fans that were there.
yeah.
So I'm happy that that came about.
And
But
I feel like the credit goes, I feel like the credit should go both ways. The Mexican fans treated the American fans very well, and I'm very glad that there was American fans and that many of them that decided to make the trip.
yeah,
That it pretty much made a stand right there, saying like, "Hey, you know what? That was a
yeah,
one-off event. We know the country isn't like this. We still support our team.
mhm,
They're not going to scare us." And it was great to see
yeah.
that from both fan bases.
Yeah, and this is something that if you follow the English soccer, back in the 80s and 90s, well, the hooliganism that happened over there, that's I feel like this is going to be a changing moment, for Latin American soccer, if not Mexico soccer, because I know South America they're starting to do that too, where they're having a really high impact of law enforcement at the stadiums, where like they separate the opposing teams fans by riot police and stuff like that. And with riot police, might say that it could cause problems, but the point that I'm trying to say is that this might be the wake up call to where they're Mexico and other Latin American countries recognition, but to get a ticket, that you have to provide all your information like in a database, and then
Yeah,
to so they can know who's sitting where. Even if you sold your ticket on, you scalped it, but you're responsible for that, and they're probably gonna go look for you and tell you who'd you sell your ticket to,
yeah,
right? So
no,
eventually
exactly.
they're gonna find out.
And
Uh,
that's the way it should be. And I mean, I'm glad, like, you know, it sucks that all this came from a tragedy, but at the same time, it's something that needed to happen. And I hope this is the standard from now on. For Mexico games.
yeah, and hopefully, but yeah, again, I think it was a good turnout. The match, 0-0, but I think it was a good game for me being a USA fan. I think the match was really well played, and it's going to be a good rivalry going to the future. And I'm happy, and went with no issues. So
Yeah, yeah, same here. I'm happy. I'm happy that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the game was a little boring in my opinion. Um, and I do agree with you that Reina, he is the future for the team. I mean, there was some moves that he was making out there, and it's just like it's scary how good that kid's gonna be.
yeah. Yeah. Hey, so to finish off our episode this evening, I wanted to just talk about real quick before we close out the match against Phoenix. Obviously we have fans going out there. It's going to be a great match. Phoenix or their supporters don't really call us a rival. There's been, I think we're getting more hot blood with Orange County, to be honest. And I think it's going to be still a high energy game. There's still going to be some tension between these two clubs, and I just wish everyone the best over there. And
Yep.
uh, what do you see as a prediction before we close out here?
You know what? I think the Loyal are they're gonna take it. I mean, just seeing the way the Phoenix has been playing the last few games, um, this is definitely they're gonna take it. And I mean, if they don't want to consider us a rival, then whatever. That's the way you want to that's the way you want to start a rivalry by not even pay attention to us. Then
Yeah,
that's on you, man. That's
yeah.
all on you.
I'm going 2-1.
I'm gonna go.
Loyal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Probably. I'm gonna go 2-0.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I can see that happening. And away party, there's gonna be one at Bluefoot that the club uh is gonna be organizing. I think someone mentioned that if you cannot go to that home and away is also going to be a spot. If there's
Yep.
some people that want to take families, is that true?
Yeah, that's my understanding. Bluefoot is a little bit more of 21 and up. It is a bar, so it is only 20 open, so it's not family friendly. But home and away is, and that's definitely somewhere. That's the one that's actually told us to keep it down. So if you have a
Yeah,
family and you want to keep it down, that's probably a good place to go. But
yeah,
no, honestly, like that's it. It's a fantastic location. The food's great. The beer is awesome.
yeah,
Like I said, it wasn't their fault. It was just the area surrounding them. But it is a good location to go watch the game for sure.
yeah. So the hot spot's going to be Bluefoot then, which is an awesome place to watch soccer. If no one's been there, I really strongly recommend going there. I haven't gone yet for a loyal match, and I want to make it out there
Yeah, it's
uh,
gonna be
for
interesting.
that. But it's a really, really there's definitely some soccer loving people that go to that spot. So
Yeah, I've been to the Arsenal games there many times, and when they played Everton, and there's a lot of people that show up. A
yeah,
lot of people show up.
yeah, and a lot, and hopefully we get a lot of those people, attracted to loyal too, and going to those matches too, or watching the away matches there.
Yeah, so the more
But
people we can get out there, the better. That just brings better attention to us.
that's right. So yeah, so that's all for me. Do you want
That's
to
it.
last thing? Any last comments that you want to think of?
Um, Honestly, right now it's just I'm just ready for the weekend to start, man. I mean, it's been a great week of just soccer, soccer, soccer.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just I'm just ready for tomorrow, and then like take a break until next week. So
Yeah, I'm excited too. So I'm excited for tomorrow, and again, just for all the people that are going out there from San Diego, I just really hope for you. Hope the best for y'all. Have a great time.
be
You know,
safe.
don't let these Phoenix reporters get under your skin. If things aren't going our way, just say, hey, we're going back to San Diego. You guys are staying in here in this crappy town. You know
Yeah, I don't need.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
just know what you have back home. Just
yeah, I'm smiling, I'm leaving, we might have not won or something like that, but
but
hey,
I'm
you
I'm
gotta
getting
stay
out of here.
here. We're out of here.
It was a quick trip. We're done.
Quick trip, we'll see you back at our place and we'll see how things go over there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, man. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to Chelas con Chavos. Stay tuned for our next episode next week.
Yeah,
Where we're gonna be covering a little bit about obviously what happened with Phoenix and more soccer news.
yeah.
So with that,
Hopefully we can get some more. We can get some people to join us. From the Chavos, especially some leadership people. So
yeah,
we're gonna
we're
work
gonna
on
get
that,
some.
and yeah,
Yeah, we'll
new
get some
podcast
surprise
blues.
guests. We'll have our
Yeah,
surprise guests.
yeah. A surprise guest.
Yeah. All right. All right,
All
everybody.
right.
Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks everyone. Good night.